What I also now want to show you is this. You can kind of see this is actually a sandstone that's used to sharpen wet saws. What I discovered is that this is very porous. Air goes through it very easily and very readily. I cut off a piece of on the end. I then ground it and whittled it into a plug. And again, it's very porous. Air goes through it very easily. With this, I'm using it inside of one of my chambers. It very easily fits now, and I've grounded so that it would fit easily, relatively easily, in. And now you can kind of see that it's, tip it this way, that it's in. I can then stuff additional pad, steel wool pad on top, and also, not steel wool, but stainless steel wool pad in the bottom. Maybe I've got those two reversed. Yes, I did. Okay. So with this now is I've created a chamber that will be the dryer and also built-in flash arrestor. Okay. This, of course, and then my collar, which is the middle collar. I can now take and assemble this unit. I can then put that in here, like so. Okay. This is for the fill tube. This is actually going to be used for fill tube, and it is also for the gas to come into the bottom of the secondary bubbler. So we'll put that in place. And again, please remember, always use Teflon tape. I don't have it on here for demonstration purposes, but please use it. Okay. Alright. And the tube goes in like so. Alright. Now, what I've also done to help things out, I've seen on YouTube where others have been complaining about too much bubbles and foam, and I do see that somebody is using a scotch pad or scratch pad. Okay, so I've cut me a collar that will take and go down around the top. I've also cut a small hole so that I can run my tube through and also through the tube here. Okay. Alright. What this will help to do is break up the bubbles. Also, Scarecrow has mentioned that he actually uses sponge sometimes to help break up the bubbles as well, and to help cut back flashback. So I have now actually taken a sponge, cut it, and I mount it also. So this is the inner chamber. Okay. For the very top, like I showed, this is the very top, and in there is also some additional stainless steel wool, which I've shown you. The top, the gas outlet. Okay. This is the collar that will mount to it, which you've seen before. I'm now using 1/4 inch high density poly. Also, as a warning, do not use plexiglass because it'll break. When you take and compress this and you tighten it down against the O-rings, the plexiglass will break. Use something more substantial. I'm using high density poly. High density. This collar will fit on top. Like so. Okay. And as you'll notice, when you tighten this down, and when I'm tightening this down, I get a very good seal. And this is what I'm looking for. Another reason for making sure that you use the fittings that actually seal up, and the ones that I have found are the ones from Lowe's, not Home Depot. This whole unit now here's a piece I want to show you that you guys need to watch. Okay, I'll line this up. Now, I'm going to stick this hose up in through this fitting. The reason that I'm doing it that way and fitting it through the top, and if you notice what I'm doing is lining these things up, getting them lined up before I tighten them down. The reason I want to do that is because I want to actually put a 3/8 tube all the way down and slide it so it slides down the top and then fits in like so. Alright, this is important. This will take and give you a good seal. It also takes and goes down to the gas now will flow down to the bottom of the bubbler so that it comes up through the middle. We run this to the other side and plug it in like so, and what we're wanting is we're wanting gas to come up against here, go through all of the sponge and the scratcher and so forth. The gas will then force its way. It will seal because of the O-ring, and the only place that it can go is up through this hole. It will come across and go down into here as a tight fit, airtight fit, and then down to the bubbler. Also, remember I said this can be used for fill tube? What you can do is fill your water into this chamber with the hose from this end. Okay. Also, when you want to take and fill the water into the main chamber, you would just take and run another hose into here, fill the water into the main chamber, and then pull it back out, and so forth. All right. Now, this whole thing now will set inside with the O-ring. I'll set it on top and slide it in. So that it locks in place. The sponge is causing me a little fit there, but we'll get it. Actually, excuse me for 1 second. Let's reverse that. Okay. Now, back in, down, push the foam rubber out of the way, the sponge, and lock it in place. Okay, now for the bottom, we'll take our collar, okay, the compression, we'll put another O-ring, put the compression ring on top of it. Okay. Line it up. And then tighten. Okay. There you have it. Alright. Now you can also then mount it into a sleeve at the bottom. The reason I want to do that is it gives me an access area, and this is not glued yet, but it gives me an access area, and then I can take and seal that off with a lid. Now, of course, we have the filter, not the filter, but the water level check. Okay. Alright. And then, of course, our fluid inlet. And gas inlet. And the gas out. Okay, there you have it. Now, also be aware this is still not tested. I'll be testing it shortly, and I'll give you some updates on it. And also, part of the series, I'll actually go through a little bit slower and show you more of the construction techniques. Thank you for watching.